Hey witches, welcome to the Lunar Faire vlog. Tomorrow night's Lunar Faire is at East Freehold Fairgrounds. That is the one, if you guys remember from previous videos, that requires the COI, Certificate of Insurance. I actually had an issue with my certificate of insurance this time, where it got kicked back, and I was worried I wasn't going to be able to vend at this one, but I was able to get it fixed. Only problem is it cost me $25 more than originally thought to get it. So instead of being $50, my certificate of insurance was $75. So that's on top of the Lunar Faire vending fee, which Lunar Faire vending fee went up this year, which good. It should have gone up. They deserve it. And honestly, it was one of my lowest vending fees. So I'm very happy that they did raise that price, which I know is not something that people are probably used to hearing, but like based on other events that I do, they are now on par with my other events that I do. And I'm like, good, this team deserves this. This team works so hard. So I'm glad that they did that. I always do general pop spots, which are a little bit farther back. They're nothing special. There's also mids, which are a little bit more centered, and then there's premium, which are at the very front of Lunar Faire. But I always do the general pop because I know that my candles have a little bit of a cult following and people usually come and find me. So I figure I don't really need to spring for anything fancy. Although that might be something interesting to do this year, is pick one fair and spring for a little bit of a fancier spot and see how that goes. See if it actually changes anything. That might be a cool experience. And experiments. I meant to say experiment. We're going to pretend that it's going to be a cool experience and experiment, because it will be. But this theme of this Lunar Faire is fairy tale. So there's going to be like a fairy tale parade and a fairy float parade and all kinds of stuff. So I'm hoping I might be able to get some footage of that, but it's just my mom and me at this event. Carly has to work, so no promises there. Freehold is a little bit crazy. I usually have a line out my tent at this one, so we'll see if that stays that way this year. This year's been really weird. The cost of living is so much higher. The cost of gas is so much higher. So it's like, I'm not too sure if my events that were really good last year are going to be really good this year. So it's just a whole lot of like throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping that it sticks. Which has been my freaking motto this whole year, is throwing spaghetti into the void and hoping something sticks. So, all right, guys, I got a little bit of prep I gotta do, so cue that prep montage, future B. Happy Lunar Faire day. I'm off to drop off some packages at the post office, pick up my mom, and get started on the road to Lunar Faire. It's about 2.5 hours today, so let's get going. I am halfway through setup right now, and it is so hot. The one day I don't pack any water or anything like that, so mom is on her way to Wawa to pick up water and food for later. I'm about halfway through setting everything up. I'll put in a video here so you guys can see how close I am to being finished. I just got the table to do. It's about 3:30. Lunar Faire starts at 5, so I'm not doing too badly. It's just hot and windy, but then the wind isn't really cutting the heat too much. It is what it is. Oh my god, wait, hold on. Can I flip this? I have to show you guys electric sex in the booth over there. Very serious here at MagickMacabre. Super serious. That's why I pay her the big bucks. Did not film it, but I sold a book. I'm always laughed at when my vendor survival kit has toilet paper in it, but this is once again a Lunar Faire that doesn't have toilet paper, and I just happen to have some in my bag because it's a Lunar Faire and I'm prepared. I have Vasa Park trauma, y'all. Like, I'm not doing that again. I was gifted some stickers, so they went on the altar. I was just gifted a frog onto the altar. I hope you guys know that I just put your gifts on my altar for the shop, and they travel with me for as long as they can. $11:07, we are officially totally torn down, exhausted, sweating to death.
Yes, we are.
I'm amazed that we only did it in an hour though, let's be real. Like, and now it's time to head home and unpack all of this junk.
Hey buddy, you miss me? I think you miss me.
Hi witches, let's discuss the fairy tale themed Lunar Faire at the East Freehold Showgrounds. So the vibe at this one was a little weird for me. I don't know if that was the same for everybody, but like I ended up making less money than I have ever made at this venue. Not to say that I didn't hit my bare minimum like Lunar Faire goal. That is how I figure out like which venues I'm gonna do, but like I hit just a little bit more than that, and usually this venue does significantly well. And you'll see in my graph at the end of the video that my expenses were a lot higher for this one because of that COI and everything. So like to just hit the usual Lunar Faire number for me almost doesn't make it worth it for me. Not to say that I don't love Lunar Faire, but it's just a matter of this one is 2.5 hours away, where some of them are only 2 or not all the way up the GSP. So I do end up saving a lot of money there and everything. Because at the end of the day, as much as I love like spreading my magic and stuff, this is my livelihood. And I do have to make enough money to pay my bills, which luckily I was able to, you know, cover the expenses for this event and also cover the COI fee and the next Lunar Faire fee, because there's actually 3 Lunar Fairs in May because there's a blue moon, and it is at Vasa Park on the 31st. So I'm very excited that we have another one. And Vasa Park is one of my favorite venues. It's much harder because you can't pull up to your space. You have to like cart everything in from the parking lot over like tree roots and stuff like that. But like I found that the venue really has like a more magical feel to it because it's almost like an enchanted forest, and because of that I love it. So I'm excited that there's going to be a 3rd Lunar Faire because I do need to make enough money to cover my bills. I'm almost there. If this event had hit the goal, I would be there already. So you know what, at least there's one more, and I have that opportunity. But like I found that people were also spending less at this one. And I don't know if that's like the economy or what. It was just quite the juxtaposition compared to Druid Fest, where people were dropping tons of money. This one, it seemed like people were dropping less money or like trying to haggle with me. It's the first one where I've had people like try to haggle, and like that always leaves a bad taste in my mouth because it's like, don't try to get an artist to charge less. We're already undervaluing our shit significantly. Like, trust me on this. I get yelled at all the time by my artist friends to raise my prices because I undercharge for everything. But that's just the kind of person I am. I try to like, you know, make my stuff as accessible for anybody, even at my own detriment sometimes, unfortunately. But yeah, I had that happen a couple times, but I still met some great people. Like, don't get me wrong, I met a lot of like usual customers and had lots of great interactions, but there were just a couple that were a little weird, and like the vibe of the overall event was just a little weird, and I don't know what that was about. I really don't. I know it wasn't Lunar Faire crowd because like the Lunar Faire people are amazing always, so I just, I'm gonna blame the stars. The stars in the sky, the astrological bullshit. But we survived. Astrological bullshit aside, we survived. So cheers to that, mate. And I'll be doing Vasa Park soon. I'll put the graph at the end, but you'll see that my expenses for this one were much higher, and it was just on par with my usual events. So it was a little weird compared to previous years, but I'll put that at the end. But while you're still here, give me a follow if you can. This is my @ on Threads and Instagram, and then this is my @ on Blue Sky if you're over on Blue Sky. I also have a new book coming out called You Are Magic, coming out in less than a month now. Christ. That's crazy. And You Are Magic is all about tapping into the magic within you, and also has got all those things from the Spellbound Grimoire that y'all like the recipes and the spells and the reference sheets. I'm trying to really make it like a fun, accessible second book. So I hope that you guys will go pre-order that if you can. And until then, I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Here's that graph.